we just want to say, what do you think about the Armenian representation in Anora, and especially since you're in it?
Armenian representation.
Barevdes, we're more than pomegranates, and we're here in Armenia, a country that's nestled in between Turkey and Azerbaijan. You may know us for Kim Kardashian, Cher, Charles Aznavour, and for our film The Color of Pomegranates, that's directed by Sergei Parajanov.
Certainly, those names are big and great, but we rarely get represented in mainstream media, which is why Anora, the best picture film, is such a big deal for our people in our country.
There have been endless discussions and debates about the sex worker representation and the Russian representation in Anora, but we haven't really talked about the Armenians. The topic of Armenian representation was recently touched upon by Sona Karapogosyan, a film critic that wrote an article titled, I'm just going to read the name, Stereotypical Armenian and Armenian Stereotypes.
Let me read a quote to you from that article. The portrayal of Armenian characters in American films in recent decades indicates a change in public perception. Initially depicted as mostly male figures with tragic or dark pasts, they are now relegated to episodic roles as criminals and thieves. Yeah, this quote is generally true. Armenians are poorly represented in mass media. But what's nice about Anora is showcases elements and quirks that are unique to us. And it's pretty genuine. So let's go ahead and ask Varya what she thinks, as she's the one that brought Anora to Yerevan.
I am Varvara Hovanesyan. I am the head of international department at Golden Apricot. I am trying to bring the best movies to Armenia for the audiences to see. I really love my job, and I really hope that Armenian film industry will grow with the help of film enthusiasts and film festivals, and yeah. So for me, it was very important to bring Anora. When we brought it in October, I think, I was very nervous because I heard a lot of mixed opinions about the Armenian representation in the film. But then I was horrified when I saw the full hall at Moscow Cinema where we were screening the film. And then it started, I didn't know what to expect. It was full of surprises for me as well. But then I saw how people reacted. It was kind of a very nice balance of people who really liked it, who had fun watching it and not taking it so seriously as some of the others were. Well, it was their right, to be angry about some things. I always say that you have to be very lucky to understand 3 languages like Armenian, English, and Russian to watch Anora, because otherwise it won't have the strong influences. I tried watching it in other languages like in Russian, but when you see how, especially for me, maybe I'm mistaken, I think that it's Karren Karagulian's amazing job, how he created this, like the organic character growth and how the dialogues are built. As in all of the Sean's films, again in Anora, I think that they were all human, still despite what the job they were doing, they were human beings with feelings and with, self-worth. And for me, one of the most amazing parts of Anora is Karren Karagulian's amazing job as an actor, as someone who built most of the dialogues of the film, which in my opinion, I'm putting aside the fact that I am Armenian, those 2 characters, Vaches and Karens, were the the charm of the film. And I'm very happy to celebrate my compatriots having the time of their life with the movie. It's amazing.
I don't know about you guys, but I think it's pretty fun to ask people's opinions about Anora's Armenian representation. That was a mouthful. Let's go ahead and ask more people what they think.
Գործի վրա եմ, բայց չունեմ, չէ։ Love, okay.
Busy guy, huh?
They were asking for my dentist number. Hi everybody, I'm Nerses Gevorkian. I was born and raised in Yerevan, Armenia. So I do a podcast called Film Blog, which is in Armenian, and the main target audience is Armenian speaking around the world. I want to bring, first of all, since we're talking in Anora today, I really want to be in touch with Karren Karagulian and interview him. So I'm gonna answer this actually in Armenian to add some layer of the film, because there is multicultural experience. So we will try everything, so Armenian, English, but not Russian, not today. Հարցը նրանում է կանում, որ կարծրատիպերը ֆիլմը ոնց նշեցիր, կան, առկա են, որտեվ կարծում եմ բոլորս էլ ունենք ինչ որ մի հատ այտենց ծանոթ, բարեկամ, չգիտեմ, օրինակ, իսկ թվում է ես միակ մարդը որ Գլենդելը բարեկամներ չունեմ, but it's okay, Հարցը նրանում է կանում, որ այդ մարդիկ ռեալ են, իրական են, այսինքն ինչ որ օթենտիկ իրանք օրիգինալ կերպարներ չեն ստեղծված այս ֆիլմի համար, իրանք հնարովի կերպարներ չեն, իրանք հնարած մարդիկ չեն, իրանք 3D ֆորմա չեն, իրանք իրական մարդիկ են Մսից Արոնից, ոնց ասցի կարող ես տեսնել քո ամենօրյա կյանքում, Հայաստանում էլ, հատկապես որ, չգիտեմ, Վաչեն մեր տղան է էլի, մեր սկսել է այդ ամեն ինչը, ես իրա կարիերային այդպես չեմ հետևել, խորը, անկեղծ լինեմ, ու այդ իմ հումորի տեսակն էլ չի ընդհանրապես, ես շատ ուրախ եմ իրա համար ու հատկապես Կարենի համար, որ ողջ այդ ճամփան անցել է Շոնի հետ, որ ավելի շատ ինձ թվում է Յուրա Բորիսովի կերպարն է, հետո դառնում երկրորդական ու ավելի կենտրոնական դեպի Անորայի կողմ ու դրա համար ինձ թվում է, չգիտեմ, օրինակ ես լինեի, ավելի շատ ինձ թվում այդ սիրտը այդ կինոյի, the heart and soul of the film was Karren Karagulian. I think in my opinion, he was the glue to everything, to this, larger piece of a puzzle, but, Yura is fine too.
Nerses, you're completely correct. I do agree. Igor, a little bit overhyped. And I don't know if that's controversial, but the real glue is Karren Karagulian's character, Toros.
How are you?
Game over for you, that's it. Tic-tac Instagram, tic-tac Instagram.
If you don't believe me, just watch Anora again. I hope your opinion is going to be changed. But let's go ahead and ask some students in AUA what they think about the film.
Hi, my name is Alex. Oh, wait, what was it supposed to be? I'm just Alex? Hi, my name is Alex. I'm an AUA student and the co-founder of the AUA Film Society. I watched Anora and I liked it a lot, but I do understand the criticism basically that about the Armenian representation. I understand why people don't like being associated with Russia, and I don't like being associated with Russia as well, and also being kind of subservient to Russians as in these gangster roles. They're not even really gangsters, are they? They're goons. They call them goons, right? And it is like kind of stereotypical, but I cannot say it's like untrue. Because we also, we as Armenians also portray ourselves in this manner. And this is not a flattering depiction. I feel like both of those characters are quite sympathetic. They're human and they're not bad people per se. They're just people trying to do a job. Yeah, they're good characters and they're not overwhelmingly negative. The other question is, like, of course, Ashon Baker as just an American guy, is he kind of exploiting the people, the cultures that he uses in his film? That can be said about, his constant usage of sex workers as well as national and other minorities. Well, that's another question. He's kind of, when portraying these people, maybe in a way exploiting them or maybe romanticizing them or stereotyping them in a way, but I feel like it's not as bad as people make it out to be.
Ես այդ ֆիլմը դիտելուց մտածեցի, որ հայերը շատ ագրեսիվ էին ցույց տված ֆիլմում, որովհետև կարող է մարդկանց մոտ տպավորություն լինի, որ ընդհանուր բոլոր հայերի ազգը ինչ որ ագրեսիվ, այտենց մաֆիայի նման ազգ են, բայց խնդիրն է, որ չեմ կարող դրան ոչ մի բան ասել, որովհետև կան մեր շրջապատում շատ այդպիսի մարդիկ, ու երևի մեծամասնության մասին մեր ազգի դա կարող է ճիշտ լինի, բայց իրականում ես կուզենայի, որ այդ մեծամասնությունը ցույց չտրվեր, այլ Երևանին մարդիկ, ովքեր իրականում տես չեն ու մի քիչ ավելի բարի են։ Կարծում եմ այդ հումորայինը ավելի դարձեց տպավորությունը նենց, որ իրականում այդքան ագրեսիվ չեն մարդիկ Հայաստանում, նենց որ կուզենայի իհարկե ավելի սենց բարի կերպար լիներ, ավելի էլի այդ նույն հյուրընկալ թեկուզ Հայաստանի նման, բայց չեմ կարող ասել, որ սխալ է ցույց տված կերպարները, լավ էլ ճիշտ ու սա սազող է Հայաստանին։
I come from a place where I'm like the only Armenian. Like I grew up in a small island, and me and my sisters were the only Armenian. So just to see anything Armenian on screen growing up, even if it was even the color of pomegranates growing up, was like I could kind of claim that if I knew someone who knew it. So when I saw that there were Armenian characters and they were speaking Armenian, my first thought was like, oh, okay, so like people are gonna just know who Armenians are, and like my friends or people back home will just have less questions about where I'm from. So that was my first thought, and that like if my friends back home watched it, they could, probably think about like, oh my God, that's like Kayani's country, or like that was what I was most excited for.
It's better to have representation than no representation at all. Especially when one of the Armenian characters is Varya, who is from Armenia, and we don't usually get Eastern Armenian representation. I mean, we have several people, Armenians, Western Armenians from America who won Oscars, were in movies that won Oscars, but I don't really remember any Eastern Armenians. And I mean, seeing Varya going from Kare Dart to Anora is like such a big jump.
Ivan! You broke my nose!
Such a big leap, and I'm so proud of him. And even though I think the representation is stereotypical, I'm really glad we have it, and I really like the movie. I think it's really fun.
For those who don't know, Western Armenians typically come from Syria, Lebanon, or Persia, and they were displaced during the Armenian genocide. And they have IAN last names because they weren't here during the Soviet reign. Versus Eastern Armenians, who were born here, they have a YAN last name. And usually, the IANs, the Western Armenians, get more representation in the mainstream media, and we rarely see any YANs. So the fact that Varya Tovmasyan, who is a YAN, is getting this much recognition and is in a mainstream film is a big deal. We're only saying this historical context because most people probably don't know that there are different Armenian diaspora, and to us there's no difference. Armenian success, representation from IANs, YANs means the same thing.
Hey Lilith, why don't we just go to the Russian Armenian University and ask some students what they think?
So we're currently at the Russian Armenian University, and we wanted to target the film students because they're potentially going to be the future filmmakers of Armenia. And we wanted to know their thoughts because they're probably more well-versed in films, let's be honest. Okay, so far we've asked like 15 people if they've seen Anora, and nobody has. I know 2 people had, but they're camera shy. And if they're camera shy, then what does that make me? Like, I'm out here with this neon green.
Mike.
I'm out here with this neon green.
You're not professional.
With greasy hair. Our last hope is the class that's composed of film students. I really hope they've seen the Best Picture winner. Maybe Oscars don't even matter here. I don't know. Maybe I'm the Lulu.
It's cool. Some Armenian people say it's bad. They show bad habits. But I think it's funny. Այն ամեն ինչ որ են կարել են այդ ֆիլմում Այդ ուղղակի ուրախ է, այդ ուղղակի մի քիչ պետքա կոմեդիայի առումով նայել, պետք է շատ էս դուրջին տալ, ասենց ասած։ Բայց ես շատ ուրախ եմ, որ մեր ազգից մարդ տենց ֆիլմում է հայտնվե, նենց ֆիլմում, որը հաջողության հասը։
Անորայի կինոյի մեջ ես sense կարծիք կարտահայտեմ եմ փաստով, որ ասենք երկու հայ խաղացել է այդ դերերում ու ասենք Օսկարը շահել, ես մենակ ուրախ եմ, բայց արդյոք ինքը արժանի էր Օսկարի թե չէ, էդի ես համամիջ չեմ։ Լավ կինո է, բայց ինքը Օսկարի ընդհանրապես արժանի չէր։ Բայց մենակ այն փաստով, որ երկու հայերը կրել են Օսկարը, ես մենակ ուրախ եմ։
Merci շատ։
Որ ճիշտն ասեմ, ես Anora ֆիլմը չեմ նայել, բայց իմ կարծիքով բոլոր հայերը, ովքեր հետաքրքրված են գոնե ինչ-որ չափով մեր դերասաններով եւ մեր ֆիլմերի բնագավառով, անպայման պետք է նայեն այդ ֆիլմը, որպեսզի տեսնեն, թե ինչպիսի տաղանդավոր դերասաններ մենք ունենք եւ որ մեր դերասանները կարող են հելնել մեծ բեմեր եւ այսպիսի մեծ բաների հասնել։
Let's see what the aspiring filmmakers of Armenia have to say about Anora.
Hi, I'm Albert. I'm a filmmaker. That's it. I actually I laughed a lot. I really liked the film when it came to like my experience with the film. But then I was thinking that maybe like the representation is a bit shallow of Armenians, because not of Armenians, because it doesn't encapsulate the experience of being Armenian. I don't think the intention is that. But I was thinking about this contrasts of like this Karren Karagulian character going on like baptizing a child and then going to his job, and not much time spent enough except of like comedic effect to understand his character. And I think my frustration with that is not actually directed at Anora, it's actually directed at the fact that these people mostly talk realistically in regards to a very specific group of Armenians that I know, but it's also like there is no motivation, there's no contrasting like desires and fears to them. They seem like they're the sidekicks of like a Russian oligarch, and they talk very realistically like Armenians do. And I don't know if Armenians in the diaspora talk like that, those who have moved from Armenia to there. But it felt like they're just a device to the film. And I would love for that language, for that kind of like characterization and taboo breaking to be present in Armenian films, with the backstory that can flesh them out. Not even backstory, but like their psychological, local, and whatever global context of where they're situated at that exact moment. So I'm like mixed. I like that there's like Armenian banter in that I can actually hear people swear in Armenian and use a very a language of Armenian that is very far from what we experience in Armenian film, but at the same time I feel like they're very surface level characters that are made more interesting by the mannerisms of the actors rather than the screenplay fleshing them out. So yeah, that's it.
Of the Armenian representation.
Չափից շատ ենք դրամատիզացնում ամեն հայ դերասանի կամ հայ կերպարի ներգրավվածություն որևէ արվեստի գործում, հա, որովհետև փոքր ազգի կոմպլեքս ունենք, բայց չէ, բացի դրանից, կարծում եմ, որ այս ֆիլմում ընդհանրապես կարևոր չի, թե ինչ ազգեր են ներգրավված պատմության մեջ, որովհետև պատմությունը ճիշտ է, երբ որ լսում ես ինտերվյուները ու Q&A-ները ֆիլմի ստեղծողների, նրանք ասում են, որ երկար տարիներ մտածել են Brighton Beach-ում ապրող ռուս համայնքի մասին ֆիլմ նկարել, բայց եթե չլիներ ռուս համայնք, այլ լիներ գերմանական համայնք, կլիներ երևի թե նույն ֆիլմը, որովհետև ազգերը ստեղ կարևոր չեն, համենայնպես ամեն անգամ երբ Շոն Բեյքերը ինչ-որ հարցազրույց է տալիս, ինքը երբեք չի կենտրոնանում այդ ֆիլմի այդ ասպեկտի համար, իր համար մարդկանց տարբեր ազգի լինել է այս ֆիլմում, ուղղակի գործիք է, ոչ թե նպատակ։ Ու նաև ուզում եմ ասել, որ հա, իսկապես մենք ունենք ներկայանալու խնդիր աշխարհում, բայց դա կոտրելը երկու հայ դերասանի գլխին, որոնք պրինցիպի մենակ նրանով, որ հաղթել են, որ մասնակցել են մի ֆիլմում, որը Կաննի փառատոն է հաղթել, որը Օսկար է հաղթել, արդեն իսկ նպաստում են նրան, որ Հայաստանի մասին մի քիչ ավելի շատ իմանան աշխարհում, մի քիչ անարդար է։ Հաջողություն մեր հայ բոլոր ստեղծագործողներին, որպեսզի կարողանան գոնե մոտակա, չգիտեմ, 100 տարիների ընթացքում այն բացը, որը եղել է, այսքան ժամանակ լրացնեն, ու ինձ թվում է մոտ ապագայում դա մեզ շատ արագ հասանելի կլինի ու սպասվում է։
Lilith, is it just me, or do you think we're kind of like missing somebody?
Yeah, the baby boomers didn't want to be in this video at all. I get it, they're over it. But yeah, I do feel like there's somebody missing, or just something.
Yeah, something's missing. Let's just go home. Let's figure this out.
It'll come through.
Yeah. Let's go.
My back.
All right, so we already asked everybody we know. We went to the universities. Who else is there to ask?
Wait, who's calling us?
Oh my God. I know that this question, we heard that you think this question is kind of vague and pointless, but we just want to say, what do you think about the Armenian representation in Anora, and especially since you're in it?
Armenian representation.
Yes.
Well, you see, for example, I heard the other day somebody said, or I read somewhere, I'm going to say this in Armenian, how to say it in English. He said, they are Rusi Chorten Chavum. Chort means like a slave. You know, when I came to US, I was working, I was cleaning laundromats, right? Then I did a lot of things, but I never felt like a Jort because Jort is a state of mind. It's not something that I don't know. So maybe because I immigrated here, or people who come to live, they're forced to do things that it's not representations. It's real life. This is what people go through. This is what people are, right?
Yeah.
That's the reality. So if there is probably negative and positive in it, because some people might see it and think, oh, they're playing as a Russian Jort, and then they go and they don't want to be a Russian Jort, right? For me, it's hard to answer that question. I don't know. There is Armenian representation. That's real life. I mean, we are normal people, just like any nation in the world. There's nothing that spectacular or that special about Armenian. Yeah, of course, we all feel a little bit special inside of us because we're Armenian. I don't even know what that is.
Yes.
But and I understand it's very hard to be Armenian because we have very specific history, and we are also people who are. I still don't understand why we're so different with each other. I mean, I know being Armenian first means being very, loving, very warm, but I see also there's a lot of hate between people now. So I would love for people to take away a little bit of that love that we put into this film and share with each other. And love is not, I don't mean the love that always, that necessarily that generates the sexual energy. There is different kinds of love, right? You can love your taxi driver in a moment. You can drive your dry cleaner. You can love your friend. Or wife or mother, or doesn't matter. But if people understand and want to share that energy, I'm sure this world will be so much better place to live in on every day. So I don't know. I probably didn't answer your question.
No, you did. You did. You literally did. Yeah.
Well, thank you. That was really good.
Thank you so much for having a talk with us and being here with us. We only have like 95 subscribers, and you didn't need to do this. So we just want to say thank you sincerely.
Sure, my pleasure. Your subscribers amount is not that important for me. What's important for me is you two. That you guys are two good, positive kids, and you're doing what you're doing. And I wanted to give you whatever positive energy or strength that I can give you, so you can move on and go on and do what you're doing every day. And I think you're doing the right thing. And I hope you had more support from your families. And I'm pretty sure that if you keep on doing what you're doing, that support will come too.
Thank you so much. It really means a lot for us because, yeah, like being Armenian is really hard, and it's like, it's like a seesaw. It's like being on a seesaw, loving it and hating it a lot, and just your existence as an artist and as an actor kind of makes the seesaw fun. Like it gives us like a hope. I don't know.
Yeah, no, it does. Thank you so much. I hope we can talk to you again. Is there anything else you want to say or no?
No.
Okay, all right.
Bye-bye.
Take care. Bye.
Thank you. let's go ask this Armenian cat. How do you feel about the Armenian representation in Anora?